All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to my people and I remain your humble host, Ben. Now, few days ago, I saw something from the American Professional Basketball League, the NBA. The women part of the NBA came out and complained that they were not earning as much as the men. They actually took it further to something like a protest. They made, t-shirts, pay us what you owe us. It became a really big issue that the league is trying to look into. A lot of people said, well, they are being paid according to what they are contributing to the league, while some other persons felt they should be paid higher. As a matter of fact, when they asked legend Rafael Nadal if women should earn as much as men in tennis, he said, how come women earn more than men in the fashion world? Meaning, Rafael Nadal does not support that women should earn as much as men in the basketball league in America. But something struck me from that issue, and it was the female soccer team in Nigeria. I realized that the female soccer team in Nigeria does not get even half of the attention that the male soccer team gets. That is, the Super Falcons don't get half of the attention that the Super Eagles get. But when you look at the performance of the Super Falcons, you will marvel. There have been 14 editions of the Women African Cup of Nations since it started in 1991. And these women have won 9. Yes, you heard me right. They've won 9 out of 14 editions. They've actually played in 9 finals and they won all finals. They've never lost a final. Yet, we don't give them attention. Why? And they play well. I've watched them. I'm sure a couple of you have watched them too. They play really well. And let me shock you. They have a final coming up this evening. And I'm sure that most of you don't know. The Super Falcons actually play Morocco in another final. This is the 15th edition of African Women Cup of Nations. And they are in the finals again. As a matter of fact, it was an utterance that somebody made about that final that became the major trending topic in the social media space today, and that is what I've brought to you. But before I show you that utterance and how Nigerians reacted, let me quickly show you this video by a Sudanese model speaking about Nigeria. See the video.
Guys, yeah, you're not depressed. You just need to travel to Nigeria. You are not depressed. You just need to travel to Nigeria, guys. I thought I was depressed. But once I booked that flight to Nigeria, I'm no longer depressed. So you're not depressed. You just need to come to Nigeria. You
saw that. Now, this Sudanese model claims that Nigeria as a country cures depression. Now, this is contrary to what most Nigerians say. In fact, reports have shown that many Nigerians have grown into depression in the last couple of years. But here is a Sudanese who visited Nigeria saying something contrary, and a lot of people have had opinions about this, people from all over Africa. Now, I will say this in 2 ways. If this lady actually visited places that show the lives of the common man, I mean, if she went to Lagos and she went to a place like Ajegunle or Egbeda, all those other places on the mainland, and she lives there and she witnessed power failure, she witnessed the noise and everything, she struggled to get more Olue, and she still believes that Nigeria cures depression, then it is fine. Or she came to Abuja and she stayed in Lugbe, stayed in Buhari, in Kwali, all those places, and faced what the average Nigerian is going through, and she thinks that Nigeria cures depression, that is fine. But if she went to Lagos and stayed on the island, the Lekki, the Banana Island, came to Abuja, stayed in Sokoro, Meitama, and you claim that you know Nigeria because you just went clubbing, I would like to announce to you that you have not witnessed the Nigeria that over 90% of Nigerians know to be Nigeria. And this is not to say that the country is actually full of depressed people. That's not the picture I am trying to paint. I'm just trying to say that you don't know the full story. Now, let us talk about the Super Falcons, who are in the final with Morocco. The final comes up this evening, 9 o'clock. Now, a businessman came out and he said for each goal that they score in the final, he's going to give them 500,000 naira. And Nigerians became angry. They said every time we are going into a final and somebody comes out and he promises to give them money, either the person that scores, either money for the team, it ends up distracting the team. Look at how the papers reported it. Breaking news: Dr. Pat Ifeanyi Orama, chairman of Orama Football Club and Academy, has promised a 500,000 naira bonus per goal scored by Nigeria Super Falcons in the final match of the Women's African Football Championship in Morocco, provided the team wins. And Abel here says they have started again. This is the foundation to our failure. And Mavi says, you speak my mind, and they start being selfish. And this tweet here says, make them stop this nonsense. Allow these ladies to win their trophy in peace. If you have anything to offer them, do it now or do it after they have won. No, they distract us. I beg. That is it. And this tweet by Demi says 500,000 naira per goal per player, or it will be shared amongst them. And Blade reacted to that tweet. He said per goal, but they will share it within themselves. This is a nice gesture, but it is a total distraction. Quote me wrong. Nigeria is about to lose today's match. This gesture needs to stop. Same gesture that made us lose the male final to Cote d'Ivoire. And Big J Man says, please go and use that same money to develop your community by helping the poor ones around than giving the players who score goal in the competition's final, because those ones are already rich and they have money big time. And finally, Ola says, this is when defeat comes in. You saw that. So generally, Nigerians are opposed to the idea of anybody announcing any cash benefits, tying any cash benefits to the number of goals scored or anything goal scoring. They don't even want it. I was thinking maybe you should even say if they win the match, you give so thing for the team. But they are saying that give them now or give them after the match. Don't come up and say it, because to be fair, there have been a number of occasions where people announced that they are going to give cash gifts to the team and the team ended up losing. So this man shouldn't have announced this. It is highly unnecessary. Now let these ladies go out and win their 10th trophy out of 15. We are just trying to prove that the female football team, the Super Falcons of Nigeria, have been immense. They've been tremendous. They've been really good. And I think that a lot more attention should be paid to these females. They have really done well in this game of soccer on the continent of Africa. 15th edition today, and they have won 9, and they are in the final to make it 10. They play Morocco, and I believe they are going to win. Let's back them and see how this goes. And finally, away from football, away from soccer, away from sports totally, a very big announcement, a shameful one though, came out of the United Nations to Nigeria. Look at how the papers reported it. The World Food Programme will be forced to suspend food and nutrition aid for 1.3 million people in Nigeria's violence-hit northeast at the end of July because stocks have run out. Wow. Nigeria News Desk says UN set to suspend food aid to Nigeria. You saw that. The United Nations have been sending food aid to about 1.3 million Nigerians in Northeast for several months now. They are set to stop by the end of July because according to them, they have run out of stock. This is what we are saying. I think about a year and a half ago, Nigeria received food aid. We received grains from war-hit Ukraine. These are things that should not be happening. I can't say it enough. We have some of the best soils in the world in this country. We have the most agriculture friendly, one of the most agriculture friendly climatic conditions in this country worldwide. So why do we have to depend on other countries for grains? Why do we have to depend on the United Nations for food? It is because we are not doing the right thing. Yes, we know there is insecurity and it has affected our food production, but it is because we are not producing enough. Because if there is insecurity enough to affect our food production to the point that we now have to rely on a war hit Ukraine to give us food. We have to rely on UN to feed us. Then we should all be dead by now. If it is that bad, we know there is insecurity, and we have called on government time and again to fix it, to step up and fix it. But in terms of food production, I am telling you, this is because we are not doing enough. The Ministry of Agric, waiting be una work. What is your work? What do you do with all the allocation? It's just as if these people just gather, they share this money, and once they just release this money, everybody just starts pocketing. This is what these people do. Minister of Works, look at Nigeria, the roads are so terrible everywhere. What is it that you people are even doing with the crude oil that we sell daily in this country? This is a question that we will not stop asking until the right things are done in this country. Anyway, make I leave am here. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. I don't know what you still dey wait for. In fact, do am now as I dey look you. Do am now as I dey watch you. Una bye.